in your own view, what is the future of the church? And I'm going to tack on in your own view, what does the future hold for United Women in Faith?
Mm, wow. Whoever asked that's trying to get me fired up because I am so hopeful, like I said earlier, for our future and for the church. And again, for me, it's about new beginnings and, that we have an opportunity. This is a moment to be seized, to try new things, to take some risks, to create some new normals in our lives because we've had to give up a lot, not to mention disaffiliations, but my goodness, the pandemic and the all that it brought upon us. And this on top of that was just more than what some people could really bear. And so as we move out of this phase, that I did a reading a book recently. It's called Pause, Rest, Be. But the author begins talking about endings. And I was like, this is odd. Why would she start with endings? But anytime you're trying to make a shift or you're trying to make an adjustment, there is a need to let go some things, to bring some endings to some things so that we can create the space, the energy, the creativity in kind of what she called this liminal space. And I know in the church there's conversations and trainings and workshops about liminal space, but there is also this time of kind of letting go and opening ourselves up to what might be next. And that takes some prayer, some discernment, and a lot of belief and faith and trust that God is moving among us. And then as you move through that liminal space, then you come out and you're ready for a new beginning. So my hope for the church is that, you know, I did a podcast leading up to General Conference, and the person asked a similar question. And I said, well, I hope people don't come to General Conference expecting to get all the answers because they will be disappointed because we don't know all of the answers yet. And I don't think it's necessary that we had to know all of the answers. So, in terms of what regionalization will look like, we don't know, but we know what we don't want to carry forth is the pain and all of that of the disaffiliation. So we do have to find some way of being able to grieve it, let it go, and look for the hope of what is to come, or the future that God might be calling us to now. And so I would just say for United Women in Faith, I feel like once again that we've kind of begun to be the front runners on this. That we began back in 2016, kind of knowing that we needed to make some shifts and some adjustment. As you heard in the video from our General Conference presentation, we talked about we work with United Methodist Communications to survey many, many, many women and get feedback on what their needs, what their interests, and so forth. And that really helped us to kind of doing a liminal space of those 4 years to figure out and pray about and discern where was God calling us into a new beginning. And so it's not to say we're throwing out who we are and what we've been. We're very much holding on to that legacy. If you heard me speak at all, I'm always talking about how magnificent and impressed I am with our foremothers and all that they did and what they're challenging us to do as well. And so I pray that we can all embrace the vision going forward, the vision for growth, because this is the moment. And don't we cannot let this moment pass. We have got to seize it. And I'm speaking to our United Women in Faith in this moment because this is one of those God moments that you can either get on board with it or you can let it bypass us. And so we want to have joyful hearts, excited hearts, and be hopeful and be ready to let go some of the things we're comfortable with. I actually wrote a devotion for my annual conference, and I talked about how for me sometimes it's hard letting go what's comfortable, to try or to risk doing something else. But when I have stepped out and trusted God and taken those risks, I have never, ever been disappointed. And it's more than what I could even have imagined or hoped for. And that's what my dream is for us as United Women in Faith, that we can do that we can try some new things. We can take some risks, that even if we don't meet the mark, let's give it our best shot because generations in the future are depending on us. And so let's do our part and continuing to add our part of legacy to our 155 years so that others coming after us can pick up the mantle and keep moving it forward.